So my name is Julie Veenstra, and my story with Shaklee began in 1997. And when I was born, I already had health challenges. So my medical file was getting really thick. And around 1997, my mom was told that I was at a high risk for having bowel cancer, by the time I was 25. And I had a lot of digestive issues, a lot of hormonal issues, just so many different things going on. And my mom finally said, okay, you know what, enough is enough. We need to look for answers. And my mom did a lot of research. We were doing a lot of different health products. We kind of stumbled upon Shaklee. My mom heard a lady speaking in a church basement. And so we stumbled upon it, and it was an absolute blessing because it became the thing that put my health back on track. So when it was just a missing piece of the puzzle for us, for my health. So we fell in love with the products, the philosophy of the company. Now, the problem was, at that time in 1997, I was not in a stable marriage. It was not a good marriage. And we had a lot of debt. And I didn't have enough money to be able to afford the things that I actually wanted to use from Shaklee. I needed them for my health, but I couldn't afford them. And so my upline, Martha Wilmore, she explained to me that there's a business opportunity. And I just said, absolutely not. I was not interested. I did not want to do this business opportunity at all. I didn't feel like I emotionally could do it. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't want to put myself out there. I loved helping people, but I didn't want to do something in this industry. I just said no. Now, the thing is, I did love the products and I loved the results that I was getting. And so I did start sharing with a few people just because I wanted to help them. Well, the funny thing is, that was me doing the business. And I didn't really realize it at the time. And so I was sharing with people. And again, I just feel like this is an absolute blessing because 2002, I became a single mom. And because I just loved helping people, I had a car from the company. I earned a car a few months prior to becoming a single mom. I had enough income that I actually could pay for a mortgage on our own home. And I was able to provide for myself and my son. So I just think that we should always, never prejudge people, always share with everybody the opportunity that Shaklee has for us, because it was the best plan B that I never knew that I needed. So it helped me finish off some things, but it helped me start again. It helped me finish off university. It helped me purchase our first home. It's given me a lot of options. And these are things that I would not have had at all if I had stayed. I was doing hairdressing. I was going through psychology, wanted to be a social worker, but then you have to work a lot of nights and you start with low pay. And there was all these different things I really wanted to do, but it was just remarkable with Shaklee. I was able to accomplish all the things that even more than I even dreamed that I'd be able to do. So it was, again, the best plan B that I never knew that I needed. Now, at this point, I loved the products. I loved the company and their philosophy. And I was really falling in love with a flexible lifestyle and the paycheck that I was getting and all the opportunities and different trips. And that was really wonderful. But I still wasn't believing in myself as a leader. And this is where this is a really wonderful personal development business that we are involved in. And I loved the fact that I could work hard. And I had no problem giving up weekends and doing events. I would work long hours. I would share with people. And then because I did all of that, I was able to go off and do mission trips, which was another thing I was really passionate about. So I can go to Haiti and go to Dominican. I was doing different mission trips. And I loved doing that. But I wasn't sharing the opportunity with other people. That was still a roadblock for me. And so I just want to share with people how important it is to always share the full picture of Shaklee with everybody, because I was not duplicating my success as fast as I could have. I was helping a lot of people, and I had some business leaders that were starting, but I wasn't giving people the full picture of who Shaklee was. And that wasn't fair on my part. I really had to learn, first of all, how to be a better leader and how to share boldly and proudly about one of Shaklee's one of their best products is their business, their opportunity. And so I was an executive coordinator with Shaklee, and I have been traveling a lot with them. I went to Chairman's Retreat, got to lay on a lot of beaches, a few cruises, excellent adventures. And finally, at this point, I finally started really believing in the business opportunity and in sharing it with other people. Now, I hope everybody else believes in this from day one and shares it boldly from day one. And you don't take as long as I did, but it took me a little while to really believe in myself and to embrace the fact that Shaklee encourages you to be a leader. And so here's a few of the other trips I was able to be on. I was in Africa on the Kenya safari, and in Paris. That was just a fabulous trip. And there I was standing on the Great Wall of China. And as I stood there on the Great Wall of China, without my luggage, by the way, that showed up 5 days later. But as I'm standing there on the Great Wall of China, it hit me so hard. You're standing there and you're looking at this incredible wall. And it looks impossible. It was so big. And all of a sudden, I could hear my mom's voice. And she was saying, whenever I would say to her, Mom, I think it's impossible. I don't think I can do this. She always said to me, everything is impossible unless you try. It's only possible if you try. So she's one of the reasons why I have so much grit and why I keep pushing, because she always said, you're never going to succeed if you don't even try. So I looked at this wall and I thought, you know what, this might look impossible, but they didn't build the whole wall at once. It was one brick at a time. It was one brick brought up at a time, and it may have looked completely impossible. So when you're just starting and you look at the numbers that you need to be a master coordinator, you might think, well, that's just impossible. It is impossible if you go into it with that attitude, but it's not impossible if you're willing to make one phone call at a time, one reach out at a time. It is not impossible if you consistently do the actions, you consistently put in those bricks in place. And then it is amazing at what you can build. So this is my family now, and I'm very blessed to be able to homeschool I call them my three littles, and I homeschool them and just love the fact that I can have a flexible lifestyle and really pour into my kids, because I love to be able to do that, and still earning a six-figure income from home. So I think it's just a huge blessing. And you see on the bottom there, that's actually my oldest son. That's my little sidekick who was always here with me as I was growing this business and growing up in this business. And that's also a picture of my little cute grandbaby there. So it's just a real blessing again to be able to have a flexible lifestyle to enjoy all these wonderful people. Now, one of the things that this business has also given to us is, again, more options. And we've been able to take the income that we have from Shaklee and invest that into rental incomes and in different places. And so it's far and above beyond what we ever would have expected, but it's been a huge blessing to our family. So I always say to people, live each day and live it very well. And you can change your story, but only if you take the steps to do so. So that's the segment of the story that I like to share, just to walk into how important it is to know who you are and how important it is to stick to who you are. So now, if there's one thing that 2020 has taught us, it is that things are extremely unpredictable. We cannot control a lot of things. We can't control time, but we can control what we do with our time. We can't control people, but we can control our response to people. And we can also control if we light up a room by going into it, or if we light it up by going out. We can control that. We can't control the weather, but we can choose to dance in the rain. We can't control everything about what we are, like our height or our natural talent, or we can't control that. But we can control who we are. And just a little tip, a lot of effort, if you have effort and you couple that with persistence, that will be talent almost 100% of the time. So it's not about who you're born as, it is about who you live as. And that's a lesson that I'm very glad that I was able to learn while growing up in Shaklee. So I used to start my goals with what I wanted to be. I wanted to be master coordinator, but it's not until we determine who we want to be that we can actually grow into the what. So belief is a part of that. You need to believe in who you are to become the what that you want to be. So determine your who to get to your what. So the next part I want to talk about is just a little about sticking to the person that you want to be. Know your who and stick to it. So enthusiasm, we might know a lot of people who get into the Shaklee business, they're all enthusiastic and they have this great, why and this great 90-day plan, and they're all enthusiastic about it. So enthusiasm can be very common. Unfortunately, endurance is quite rare. So you may have heard Bill Firth say that leaders will do that one more thing, that one more call, that one more minute, just that one more thing. That's what sets entrepreneurs apart, successful entrepreneurs apart from everybody else, because entrepreneurs will stay 5 minutes more. And Jeff Hill, he often says that we have to be focused on the long view. And we're very easily preoccupied with the short view and behave as if that determines our long view. So we need to live with a long view and focus and let that give perspective to our short view. So I always say we need to flip our vision around, and that will actually help you with endurance. Or if you're a visual person, I would suggest that you look at life with binoculars and not magnifying glasses. And I would have to say that early on in my Shaklee career, I was looking at life with magnifying glasses and seeing all the reasons why I couldn't do it or why maybe it wouldn't work. But when you start looking at it with binoculars and you see the long vision and the possibilities, it is amazing what that can do for your endurance. So let's dive here into the concept of grit very quickly. So if anyone has read the book from Angela Duckworth called Grit, then you'll understand what I'm talking about here. If you haven't, I highly recommend this book to read. So grit is about holding the same top level goal for a long time and being willing to adjust or remove the low level goals. And all of your low and your mid-level goals have to support and align to that top goal. So how many unintentional, or maybe they're even intentional if you're trying to procrastinate, but how many unintentional distractions are you allowing to interfere with your progress to your top goal? Now, we will do that when we aren't secure in our who. We will feel silly about a post. We will procrastinate because it's not perfect and, oh dear, what will people think? And all of us, I believe all of us struggle with that one. We will allow the little red light stories or those lies to become a truth. And those lies can be about maybe we feel like we're not good enough, or we're not smart enough, or we're not pretty enough, or we're not good enough at sales. And I love it when people say they're not good at sales, because I just say, well, that's awesome, because I'm not about sales. We're all about solutions. So we're not about sales, we're about solutions. So they can get rid of that lie right away. So my top goals are to be a mom that encourages her kids to grow into who they have been created to be, and to instill persistence, encourage grit, and an understanding of their purpose. So that's my top goal as a mom. So you have to know who you want to be, and all the other goals will align up into that one. My two top goals, one is to be a mom, but also what kind of mom. The other is to be a Shaklee leader, but what kind of Shaklee leader? I want to be a leader that encourages others to grow into who they have been created to be, and to encourage persistence and grit, and an understanding that they have value and purpose. I want everyone to understand that they have a purpose. So And this slide just kind of gives a little diagram again of the top goals, the mid-level goals. But I like to add to that on the top and the bottom to live life by principles and preference. And I just love that concept. The principles are your guideposts. They're the non-negotiables about how you're going to live, who you're going to be. And so those are your non-negotiables that are going to guide every single decision in your life. Or you can choose to live by preference, which fits more with the lower level goals. And it's the things that make you feel good. It's the things that might distract you. It's the things that are easier, fly by the seat of your pants way of doing your business. You know, if you don't like doing something, it's too hard, then you'll stop because it doesn't feel good. That's living life by preference. And if you're living life by preference, you will never hit your top goal. So it's very important to remember to live your life with your guideposts in mind. Now, this just gives a little bit more example as to what those top level, mid, and low level goals are. So low level goals are things like if you have a healthy habits tracker. So we're doing a wellness challenge right now, and we're often talking about doing healthy habits like washing your face twice and getting 30 minutes of exercise in a day and journaling and doing personal development. So healthy habits, those are things like taking your strip and your shake every day. So these are low level goals that will support you in your mid level goals. And those might be things that are like being focused and sponsoring your 2-in-1 monthly. These are actions that are more closely related to the top goal and will help you achieve that top level goal, which is whatever your top level goal is, whoever you have determined that you're going to be. And I really love this message, especially for the year 2021, because I feel like we have to be very clear on who we want to be and not let anybody else steal that from us. Because your circumstances do not have to determine who you are. They can accentuate who you are. How you respond to your circumstances will show your level of grit. It will show your level of character. So don't let what's going on around you determine who you're going to be. You determine that. So the other thing I want to really share is just in 2021, again, I really feel like more people need our home-based solutions for health and energy, immunity, and especially for income. So we've said this many times before, but it's perhaps never been as relevant. People are weary. They are burnt out. They are scared. They might say no at first to us offering them our business because they don't understand who we are and what we're about. And they might not understand that they do have the ability to do this. So I encourage you to walk alongside people, do relationship deposits, and it doesn't always have to be about Shaklee. Just add value to people's lives. And when you are going to chat with them, you can say, I'd love to chat with you about something, but first, how are you doing? Right? So don't bombard them. Be upfront, be honest, say, I'd love to chat with you about something, but first, hey, how are you doing? Don't do this for what they can do for you. Do this for what you can do for them. In 2021, it is the year, it's definitely the year to be the light in other people's lives. So I'm just going to finish with, I encourage you all to go with God with a boatload of grit and a lot of grace.